Today I'm going to be talking to you about the differences between a VSL built for leads versus a VSL built for sales. We know it works because it makes sense, and I'm going to explain that to you right now. All of a sudden you're sitting there for 10 to 15 minutes dead silent while I just pitch to you slide after slide after slide after slide. You're going to feel like I'm being sold to. I'm showing you and telling you how it fits into your business. I don't see anyone doing it. I don't see many people apart from the very best do this. What can you handle within the next month? What can you handle within the next 2 months? Be realistic about where you're at. Alright guys, welcome back to another video with Work Life and Balance. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the differences between a VSL built for leads versus a VSL built for sales. Now, the only VSL you're probably aware of, and this is a big statement, is the Lead VSL. It's the one most commonly used, but the missing gem that I see almost nobody using in the industry is the Sales VSL. And this isn't something I've discovered, so I'm not trying to talk to you about something new and fancy. This is a Sales VSL that is used by the top marketers and the biggest companies out there in this space. But the large majority of people are just unaware that this is even a possibility, and they think they need to do this live on a one-to-one sales call where they pitch the prospect. And you've probably been there. If you're a service-based business owner, that means you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, accountant, whatever it is where you provide a service to your clients. You think you need to cover all of these topics here, all of these psychological pillars that you need to go through. You think you need to do it live on a call, but that's costing you a lot of time, potentially 10, 15, worst case 30 minutes on a sales call live where you're pitching that prospect and you think you need to cover this. In reality, what happens is when you do that, you automatically change the conversation. If it's a sales conversation, consultation, discovery call, whatever you call it, it changes it from being an authentic conversation where you're having a good back and forth, asking questions, to then all of a sudden pulling up a slideshow on Zoom, or you're just pitching them live. They feel like it's very salesy, and then that's where you get to the objections, and the close rate is going to be lower. If you fix this with a Sales VSL and a professional pitch presentation, it's going to transform your sales calls. It's going to shorten the time you spend on calls, and it's going to increase your close rate. I know this because I don't just do it for all of my services now that we offer, but we actually applied it in one of my friend's businesses where he's got a much bigger team. He's actually got people selling for him, and this completely transformed it, doubled the close rate, shortened the call time. We know it works because it makes sense, and I'm going to explain that to you right now. So first of all, let me walk through the one you're familiar with, right? The Leads VSL. So before I go into depth on the psychological pillars of each line in the script of what you might have here, I want to first actually explain where it's used, because there's a key difference, right? So let's start with the Leads VSL. So where would you traditionally see a Leads VSL? Actually, let's go with when. So when would you use it in the customer journey, right? This is to get leads. So you might see this very top of funnel, right? So it will be on social media, on content, so content, or you might actually see it at the very start where you're trying to get a lead on, I'll actually say where because it's easy to explain, on a landing page, so you know what a landing page is. It's the link you send someone to get them to take a next step. So this is where you might be sending them to try and get them as a lead, try and get their contact number, email address, whatever it is trying to make them a little bit warmer, take that next step in your funnel where you can now contact them and move them along the customer journey. So as you see, very, very top of funnel. So it's where your content is, you've got an audience, you've got people following you, you want them to take that next step, become a little bit closer to becoming a client, and this is where the Leads VSL is going to be. This may be a promotional video on social media itself, on Instagram. We've done this ourselves. It works really well. I'm not saying not to do this. You need both. But it's not going to sell people for you. They're not going to watch this video and then pay you money immediately. That's very rare with a service-based business, and it's not going to happen, right? So that's not what it's for. It's to get leads. And how would you actually do it? Like I said, posting content. So posting, or it's going to be on a website. Or landing page, okay? So that's where it's going to be. So just so you know the clear differences of where this is going to be compared to the actual Sales VSL. So Sales VSL is going to be much deeper in the customer journey. When? After, right? I can't reach. Booked call. You're going to have to remember that, right? So after a booked call, so much deeper in the customer journey. If you imagine a funnel like that, you've got social media, top of funnel, awareness type content. They take the next step, they become a lead after watching maybe a promotional video. They take the next step, they become a lead. Then eventually they may be getting retargeted with your nurturing sequences on email, SMS, maybe deeper on in the funnel, just from some content you put out as well. They take the next step to book a call with you, or through a conversation in DM, you send them the link, they book a call with you. That's when this triggers the Sales VSL. It's a must-watch video before they get on a call with you, and it's going to pre-sell them. I don't want to give away all the secrets yet, because I want to talk to you about the psychological pillars and differences between the two, so you totally understand why. But where is this going to be? This is going to be sent privately. Yeah, so it's private. I can't reach, right? That's why it's getting worse, my handwriting. In a SMS and email. Oh my god, I cannot reach. So SMS and email, you're going to send them privately in a private conversation, and you explain to them this is a must-watch video before you join the call. Otherwise, you won't be able to get on a call. And how? Automated. So automated with your CRM. We would definitely automate it with the CRM sequence, the show up sequence. It also increases your show up rates, because once they watch this video after booking a call, they're going to be pre-sold on your service. They're going to be far more likely to join. Not only are they going to be more likely to join, they're going to join much warmer as a lead compared to a cold lead rocking up to the call, no real idea of what it is you actually offer. Okay, so if you imagine actually, let me not go ahead. I'm going to explain to you exactly how you can do this as well. And I'm literally going to give you at the end of this video the full framework, the pillars, even a ChatGPT prompt for you to work with ChatGPT to build this out for your own service as well. So I want to give that away to you, and the link will be in the description. So first of all, let's walk through the differences, right? So the pillars we cover, and this is with the scripting process, and I'll walk through an example of what we've done. So with our fitness coaching company, we scaled it to over 250 plus active clients, and a full team of coaches doing the delivery. We had a sales team as well. So we understand this process, and we know the differences of what both of these VSLs can do for you, right? This one VSL, the best one we ever did, the promotional video we done, was for the summer challenge, and we built up this huge promotional video using a Lead VSL, and it drove 357 leads from one video, right? Absolutely crazy. So we had success with it, and that was we've been doing this for 10 years. So it's taken us time to get to this point, and I haven't got a massive following. I haven't got a large following. We didn't have a large following with the company PB Academy either, but the VSL was so good and the offer was so good that it drove a huge amount of leads to that video. So you start off with a hook, just like a traditional piece of content. You know this. The target audience call out, the problems that they have and that they think they have relating to them. Then the solutions, you're hinting at it. You're not selling them the service or the specifics. You're just hinting at the solution that we can provide you. Then you actually validate the gut feelings that they might have at that point. I was trying to read my handwriting then. You validate the gut feelings that they have. So this is also some pre-objection handling. So when you hear something that sounds almost too good to be true at this point on social media, you might get a little bit skeptical and not take action. So you just validate, some of those feelings they might be feeling right now, and why take the next step right now is not a big deal. You have an instant reward tease, so a reason why, if they submit this right now today, what they're going to get immediately. So you reduce that buyer's remorse. And I'm talking about buyer's remorse when they haven't even paid you anything. They haven't paid you £1, $1. That you need to really earn people's trust these days, so you need to make sure they've got a specific reason to take action right now. Then there's an entry offer, so that's where the offer is actually placed right at the very bottom, and then you've got a CTA to take action right now, and then you've got some scarcity as well. So for example, we're only taking on 5 clients for this specific challenge, so make sure you get in below, because we're expected to have maybe 300 people join it like we did. So this is the way we would structure a promotional VSL. It's very different depending on what your offer is, what your service is, but this is the way the typical pillar would be structured anyway, to get people's attention, move them through the customer awareness journey with just a few sentences, and then they're ready to take action immediately. Now, this will sound familiar to you as a traditional VSL. If you've hit any landing page in the past, this is the behind the scenes pillars that people are going through with their script as they're walking you through that VSL. If it's a 1 to 2 minute VSL, I can guarantee you can watch any VSL back and pretty much tick off, right, I can see now where they've covered this in a sentence, they've covered this with words, they've covered this with B-roll, and they're ticking off each point here, right? My voice is bad at the moment as well because I don't know, I've got some sort of cold, but we're plowing on. So the difference between a Leads VSL and a Sales VSL is going to be all of these pillars here, right? This is the pitch. So if I actually highlight this for you so you clearly understand, the difference here is this is 1 to 2 minutes, so 1 to 2 mins, whereas this can be anywhere from, let's go 8 to 15 mins, right? So this is what you would traditionally do on a call. And if you look at the a call process, you've got the discovery phase of the call. So if we talk about sales call, so this is totally different. You've got sales call. On a sales call, you have the discovery, then you have the pitch, then you have the close, right? So DPC. You spend the majority of the time on the discovery part, and then when you think, right, I've got all the information I need now from this prospect, I'm happy, they're the right fit for me, this is going to be a good deal for them, then you go to proceed with the pitch. And this is where you can completely replace this, yeah? So you cut that out, and instead, you just have this as the show up sequence before the call itself. It's going to be far more professional. It's going to feel way less salesy to the individual on the call, because you just now spend the whole time on the call working with them on the discovery process, just having a genuine conversation, talking back and forth, finding out more about them and what they can, what their problems are, making sure you fit your solution as the ultimate thing that they need to fix those problems and get that desired outcome, that desired result they're looking for. And then you close them because they've already watched the pitch. They're pre-sold on the call anyway. That's why they've turned up. And then you close them. There may be some objections, but very rarely, from what we've seen, it's a much higher close rate compared to if you try and pitch on the call, and it just changes the dynamic of the call. And also it shortens the call time because you're removing the pitch from the call itself. It's going to be pitch perfect as well. No pun intended. It's going to be pitch perfect because why? It's pre-recorded. You're going through this in a no stress situation, and you're not repeating yourself over and over and over again. The worst thing about when you have to pitch on a call is you have to repeat the same pitch every single time. And what happens when you do things so often, you start to get maybe a little bit like, I'm not saying everyone's like this, but you might get a little bit lazy with it. You might forget the meaning of needing to go through the problem awareness again, the problem aware, the talking about the solutions, the talking about the specific products that you offer within your service. You forget to go through some things. You may forget to mention some of the proof because you feel like it's being too salesy. Like, these are the things you'll start to miss out on a live call. Whereas if you put together a really neat presentation that's pre-recorded and edited and professional in the way you deliver it before they turn up to the call, it's going to be perfect. So let's walk through what's actually involved here, right? And for you to visualize this, every single note that I've got down here, every single pillar is actually a slide presentation, a professionally drawn out slide presentation that you are literally walking someone through. And why do they feel like it's less salesy? They feel like it's less salesy because now it's not into a one-to-one live setting. If I was to get on a live call with you on Zoom now and say, right, I'm just going to show you this, I'm not going to show you the pitch, I'm going to show you the welcome pack. And all of a sudden, you're sitting there for 10 to 15 minutes, dead silent, while I just pitch to you, slide after slide after slide after slide. You're going to feel like I'm being sold to, because that's what we're doing. You're literally pitching to them, right? Whereas, if they're watching a pre-recorded presentation, they now feel their barrier is much lower because they're like, this is a pre-recorded video. It's not directed at me specifically, and I don't feel like I'm being sold to. I'm actually more open to learning about this information that they're talking about. I'm more interested. So I guarantee this works. We know it works. So what do we do? Very similar at the stop, where we go through the customer awareness journey, make sure they're fully up to par with why they need this service to solve their specific problem. So target audience call out. You've got problem unaware versus problem aware. So those two slides, very important. I've made a video on this, breaking it down completely. Basically, a lot of the clients you've probably got before you start work with them thought they had all sorts of different problems. You need to educate them on why the surface level problems are probably not the root cause, they're just the symptoms, and then they need to be educated on what the actual root cause is, the problem, so that then you can pitch your solution to fix that exact root cause problem, right? So just I've given the example analogy before. It's like going to a doctor where you've searched up your symptoms online. It's come up with a different problem, and the doctor says, "Listen, we've run all the scans, the blood work, the everything. We know that that's not the issue. That's just a symptom. This is the root cause, and this is how we treat the root cause." So this is where you introduce your solution, and then you start to dive into the product specifics. Not massively in depth, because obviously the solution you're probably going to provide is going to be slightly customized to the individual, which is what the discovery part on the live sales call is all about. But you talk about the broad customization of specifics you provide with your service and how you can tailor that to them. Then you actually go into this real specific product breakdown, just the important key parts, especially the things that make you unique, you know, your USP as a service and why you're the only person that can truly fix that for your dream client, your target audience. Then how it works. So this is specifically talking about how it works for them, how it fits into their business, right? And then you inject some proofs. You make sure you have a slide, a case study, a story that's going to be relating to that target audience as well. How it fits, then we dive a little bit deeper into showing them in their daily life. For example, if I was, showing you how this Welcome Pack VSL, this Sales VSL actually works for you, I would show you this is going to be drawn up, scripted. You just show up, you pitch, we edit the video for you, we send it over to you, we even integrate it into your CRM. It fits into your business like that. Just before, when people normally book a call with you, they're now sent this video as a must watch, and when they show up to the call, now your call time is going to be much shorter, and you're going to have a much higher close rate because they're much more warmed up and they're already pre-sold on the service. So I'm showing you and telling you how it fits into your business. You can visualize and see how this is going to make your life much easier, right? Scarcity, this is when you obviously explain, listen, for me, this is a genuine example. I don't do this as the main business. I enjoy this. This is the part of the business I absolutely love and obsess over my service. I'm always looking to learn more. So if I have 1 or 2 projects to work on like this where I can help a business out, I love learning about other businesses as well and seeing what's going on. So if I can help fit this into someone else's business, it's literally a fun hobby for me to do this. So it's very scarce. I can't do 40 a month. I can do this when I work my time into it and actually build this out for people. So it is genuinely scarce. That's what you need to apply for your business though. Find something that's realistic, that's genuine, where you have got some scarcity to explain to them as to why you can't take on 100 people. Because if I said to you generally, can you take on 100 people next month? Unless you're doing extremely well, you've got a massive team, you probably can't take on 100 people. So think about how many people can you actually handle. I know we all have dreams and we all wish, I'd take 1,000 people if I could. But what can you handle within the next month? What can you handle within the next 2 months? Be realistic about where you're at, and people are far more likely to trust you and, actually go along with this. So the final then, this is like a who it's for versus who it's not for. Very different to a target audience call out. The target audience call out is specifically relating to the feelings they've got, the pain points they've got right to the very top. So they relate, they're engaged, they're like, wow, this is for me. But what this does is who it's for versus who it's not for. This slide is specifically to position them against the person they don't want to be. So we literally name a list of things that our dream client definitely is and should be versus who they definitely do not want to be. The absolute opposite of who they don't want to be. So they just move themselves in the camp of who this is for because they're definitely who it's not for, right? But it's very important for weeding out the people you don't want to work with as well. Then you've got more proof, another case study that's going to relate and it's going to show them that it's possible for them with the results they want. Then the important next step, if it's to book a call, you explain to them not only that, why the call is important, to genuinely now, it's not a sales call because it's much more of a genuine back and forth discovery because you've done the pitch. So it's not very salesy at all. You're literally going on asking loads of questions. Then you just, if it's the dream client, you say, yes, this is perfect for you, and they know it's perfect for them, and they're like, when can we start? And then very rarely you actually have to like close and handle objections because they already know the reasons why it's for them. Then with the next step as well, you also talk about maybe the onboarding process, what it's going to look like, what else you need from them, how quick they're going to start to see results, stuff like that you'll include in the next steps. The guarantee as well doesn't need to be a money back guarantee. With higher value clients, with higher end clients, especially if it's B2B, what I've found is a promise guarantee, a performance guarantee is far more believable, but also seems trustworthy because everyone can slap on these huge money back guarantees. But for me, I feel like a money back guarantee sometimes can scream desperate, and also everyone seems to do it these days, so you don't want to be like everyone else. But another thing as well is, are you that confident in your ability? Like, if you're saying, listen, if it doesn't work, I'll give you money back. I think the market's changed. This is as of 2025. I feel like everyone's doing it, so I just wouldn't do that. I would just say, listen, we will do this. We know it works, and we will continue to work with you until you do. You can also put in a money back guarantee, and you say, if you're totally unhappy, we'll refund you, no problem. But I'd be hesitant to just go out there. You know, I've tried everything, right? So I've done the whole double your money as well. Like, if you don't like it, we'll double your money. This was to a consumer. So with the fitness coaching offer, we tried that, and it didn't work as well as just a straight up money back guarantee. But a performance guarantee, in terms of we work with you until you get the results that you're happy with, that works far better, we found. So worth trying that and trialing it, depending on who your dream client is. And then finally, the packages. This is probably one of my favorite things to talk about, right? The way we approach these calls is we assume if they've consumed our content to this point, to get to this point where they're on the call with us, they've consumed the Welcome Pack VSL, the Sales VSL. They're already pre-sold. They know exactly what we have to offer. They've watched all of this information. We just assume close them. What assume close them is, you don't get to the end of the call and you have that awkward conversation like, are you happy to go ahead then? Like, are you ready to work with us? Don't give them that question. Just assume close, in terms of saying, out of the two packages we offer, which one do you think would suit you best at this point? And then that's when you can start to bring up pricing. We don't bring up pricing on the Sales VSL because that can allow people to become very price focused before they were value focused before. They were thinking about the outcome, thinking about the problems. Now they're just thinking about price. And it becomes more of a commodity where they start to compare you to other things. Now, wait until you get on the call to reveal price. It also allows you to just see people's reactions, gauge it, and find out what's actually going on. Maybe it's not within their budget, or maybe they just need, any sort of investment. It can be scary for most people, and people sometimes need to be just walk through that process. But the assume close is when you have two different packages and you just say which one would suit you best, and you kind of just walk it through from there. And then if they don't want to go ahead, they will find a way to just stop you. And then that's when the objections might come up. And if it's a genuine reason why they don't think they're the right fit, fair enough. But most of the time it's not. If they've got to this point, they've confirmed that they definitely need this. So the packages, I would definitely have two. One can be more of like a price anchor. One could be more of the main service you want to offer. And then the other one, potentially you can have another one if they genuinely can't afford it and they really want help. Like that's not if they're trying to get out of it. That's if they are really wanting to work with you, but they just haven't got the budget. Maybe have something on offer, but that's up to you. So this is how we would structure it. You can see the difference between how in-depth this is, how professional this is as a pitch that you're removing from the sales call to have as a Sales VSL. And now you're probably looking at me and thinking, yeah, fair enough. When you first said that at the start, that no one does this, you were probably thinking I was just trying to hook you in. Like, I don't see anyone doing this. I don't see many people apart from the very best do this, and it completely transforms the sales process for you. It's going to decrease your call time. You're going to get more time back as a founder if you're still doing sales calls, and it's also going to increase your close rate because they're going to be far more warmed up and pre-sold on your service. So if you want to find out and start to build this for yourself, if you've got time available for you to be able to do this, then I'll link that below. If you are more inclined to want this to be done for you, this is something I like to help out with, and I would love to be able to do this for you. So if you want this built out, I will happily work with you on it because I know the benefit that it can do. And after working with my friend on it, I enjoyed that process so much, and he's seen the benefit of it as well. So that's fantastic. So anyway, if you like this channel, this is all about scaling and growing a service-based business online. We're doing it as well. We document the journey. So anything you want to see, comment below, and I'll try and survive as well with this, get rid of this cold. But thank you very much. I hope this explains the difference between a Leads VSL, Sales VSL. Use them wisely at the right time in your business, and it'll definitely help. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.